everyone. Welcome back to the railroad, the Union Pacific Railroad Evanston Subdivision, and the first update for 2024. My name is Darrell Cruz, owner and builder of the layout, and your host for episode 1 of season 2024. And what did I do this first week of 2024? Well, not much at all. As you can see, one thing I did here, if you have been noticing, is all these couplers are KD couplers. And I installed about 50 cars and retrofitted them from Walther's mainline couplers to KD couplers, and I have almost 100% KD couplers on all the rolling stock, excluding the unit trains. Before I get to the rest of what I did this last week, I wanted to mention that I'm going to be at the Amherst Railway Society Railroad Hobby Show, January 27th and 28th. That's just in 3 weeks. I'll be there both Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to be at the Lombard Hobbies booth, and I'll be there in the morning and in the afternoon of both days. I won't be there the whole time, but just for a portion of the morning and a portion of the afternoon, maybe an hour each time. And so please come by if you want to say hi, or maybe I'll see you just walking around the train show. But if you are at the Amherst Railway Society train show in Springfield, Massachusetts, January 27th and 28th, make sure you stop by and say hello. Would love to be able to talk to some of the viewers or just anybody who likes to talk trains. The thing I also worked on, and the thing that is like the last thing to do in this section here, is this flyover from East Evanston control point, and then into the next room and into the second level. And I knew I wanted to do that this week, but man, this is not going to be that easy to do because there's a big reach over. So kind of pushed it off, but I did get to it today finally. And as you can see, I painted it, and this second video here is the paint being removed from the top of the rails. And then I had all this patching up to do here between the hardboard and the plywood. And the way this is designed, the fascia here and the backdrop actually act as structural supports. And here I actually spliced 2 8-foot pieces together. Could not put one continuous piece, but on a curve like that, the hardboard can actually act as a vertical support. And so I just have 1x2s going across, and then the hardboard actually supplies a lot of the vertical structure. But anyway, here you can see I used some spackling to kind of patch up all those spaces between the plywood and the hardboard. As you can see, I also need to do some work on the backdrop. I'm going to need to, there's such a large reach over, I'm going to have to stand right there. There's a woofer down there. But there is a little spot there that I can stand. I mean, I can barely reach the track going into the furnace room there. And I have to ballast all this. So I did a lot of the prep work this weekend. Pushed it off all week. Finally got to it this weekend. Forced myself to get going. So hopefully this week I'll be more motivated to go ahead and get going right away. Now this is actually the beginning of the second level from the, you can see there from the furnace room, comes above the lower level staging yard, and then transitions into the upper level here and heads towards the Aspen Tunnels. Now one thing I needed to do is this transition here from the fascia going above the track to below it. And then I also had this all just kind of thrown together and spliced together. Here you can see I just kind of spliced them. And then this was way too symmetrical, this mountain that I drew up. So I know for a long time, ever since I put this up, I knew that I had to do some work here also. So I decided to go ahead and do some prep work. So here's the changing that transition, and I just cut a triangle off. I just cut it at an angle there, you can see. And then I took that piece that I cut off, and now I'm gluing it to the bottom. So I don't know if you can picture what it was before, and then how I cut off the little triangle piece and then put it on the bottom. Now here I also used a circular saw to cut through here straight as I could, and then I used a piece to tie it together. Hardboard does not glue very well together on the smooth side, but if you put the two rough sides together, it glues very, very well. So it works really well to splice between the two. I use a screw there for one of them, then use clamps for the others. So you can kind of see with the faded there where the hardboard was. Still have the very symmetrical mountain there. So here's what I did. I made a gradual slope and then a steep slope, so that you can see where it is on the back of the mountain. Gradual slope on the right, and then the steep slope on the left. And so I kind of did the opposite on the one on the fascia. So again, here you got the steep slope on the left, gradual slope on the right. On the front, you have the steep slope on the right and the gradual slope on the left. And I haven't cut it off yet, but you can see where I kind of drew the lines where I was going to cut it. And what this does is it makes the mountain ridge kind of go in at an angle, which always is a good idea. You don't want things to be perpendicular. Scenery is not perpendicular. Now here the glue dried extremely well here. The piece that I cut off was actually kind of broke, but I was still able to glue it all together. And then I have this little handheld palm-size planer that I decided I was going to use to kind of get things to be a little bit more flush going from one piece of hardboard to the other piece of hardboard. It's not too bad right here. It's pretty well flush, but there was a little bit underneath there yet that I was thinking I needed to kind of take care of. And then here you can see I used the planer and everything's pretty smooth. I'm going to use some spackling to kind of go over that so you won't be able to see the seams at all, or at least not very well. So I'm planning on this just staying the white and then transition into ballasted scenic track from this point here on. And you can see the fascia then does make a smooth transition to being above for protection, and here below I probably will put some plexiglass there because the track is like only about 1.5 inches from the edge, and if a train or did tip over there, it would hit the lower level. Now here you can see I have the this mountain cut also then, and you can kind of see the difference between I also planed it here to make it be a nice smooth. I'm going to put another piece of wood back there to kind of stabilize that a little bit. But here you have the front, you have the steep slope on the right, gradual slope on the left, and in the back you have steep slope on the left, gradual slope on the right, and that kind of will make the mountain go kind of at an angle across here, and then it will be, of course, 2 tunnels here. This will be the Aspen Tunnels. Going east of Evanston. So I'm kind of excited on how that's going to look and how it's all going to kind of come together. One other thing I did, I ordered some PTC antennas. So the locomotives all have PCT antennas above the cabs, and then at each control point you also have a PTC antenna. And that is PTC stands for Positive Train Control, and it basically is a computerized system that if the engineers aren't paying attention and aren't following the signals, the locomotives will stop automatically and not disobey the rules. So this is what the PTC antennas, at least on the Union Pacific, looks like. This was by Custom Finishing Models or something like that. I forget what the name of it is. I had to get it on eBay. Did not find a dealer that had them. And here's another one. This is at the West Evanston control point, going from the main line into the yard. So at each control point, I'm going to have one of these. These were $20, but there's another company that makes just the antenna part, and you have to use your own pole. So I think I might get that. Those are only $10 for 2 of them. So I'm going to get some of those. In fact, I have some on order. When they come in, we'll see how they look, and maybe I'll use my own pole. But definitely adds a little bit of detail. We'll also need to put an electrical box at the base of that, and then actually I need electrical boxes by all the signals and stuff. All right, there's the Evanston area that I finished, except for that little flyover that I'm still working on. Yeah, I thought it would be a good idea today, looking into the future, to show what is going to be coming up on the Evanston sub and what I'm going to be working on next. I'm basically going to go upper level and lower level across the rest of this unfinished part of the layout. Now, this is West Vaco, so this is something I'm going to be working on fairly soon. I'm going to do the Aspen Tunnels, which I'm already started on just a little bit, and then Morgan below that. I'm going to do that first. When I finish that, then I'm going to come over on this side and do West Vaco here and get this whole yard area taken care of and scenic, at least basic scenery, with basic scenery and ballast and backdrop. And then down below is going to be Emory. That's going to be some more of the Echo Canyon. That's going to be quite a bit of scenery. So I'm going to do that section then after I finish the Aspen and Morgan areas. And then when I get all that done, then I'm just going to kind of, go back and forth between the two sections until I meet somewhere in the middle. This is going to be the upper level is going to be just Wyoming from West Vaco to Granger. The lower level is going to be Echo, where that truck is. It's going to be a little community of Echo, and then the Echo Canyon beyond that. And then on the upper level here is going to be Granger, which is the little town in Wyoming where the Pocatello sub matches up. So that's going to be the Echo Canyon area on the lower level. Again, this is going to be Granger. This little support wire here, I think I'm going to add those PTC antennas to that. So I'm going to kind of paint the bottom part of it silver and then the upper part of it white, and then have that be the PTC antennas. I won't need 3 of them, so I'll have to figure out what to do with the other 2, but I definitely will be able to do that. The lower level here is going to be Devil's Slide and Wholesome Cement. That's going to be some pretty cool scenery there with the Weber River going through there. Again, more of Evanston, more of Wyoming. There's a Pocatello subline there. Lower level is going to be Devil's Slide, the geographical structure of Devil's Slide, and then 2 more crossings of the Weber River on the lower level. The Taggart Tunnels, the lower level train will just be going into the Taggart Tunnels right there. And then we'll be coming out here at the other end and then crossing over the Weber River. So it'll be a through truss bridge there. I have one already purchased from Central Valley, I think it is. And then this will be another crossing of the Weber River. This will be just plate girder bridges. And then this is going to be the Aspen control point at the upper level. Pretty basic scenery on top here, only 10 inches wide. Lower level is going to have a little bit more scenery. The Utah between Morgan and the Taggart Tunnels. And then again, this is the area I'm going to be working on first once I get that flyover done. Going to do the Aspen Tunnels and then through the Aspen control point first, and then I'm going to work on the lower level. That's going to be Morgan right underneath it with a couple of overpasses where the railroad tracks overpass the road. So right here, this section here is what we're going to be working on next. That's not going to be a river there. That's going to be the overpasses. The train is going to go over the road. And then from here it goes into Evanston. So a lot to look forward to. Next week, definitely get that last flyover done so that one room will be completely finished. And then working on getting all this done, hopefully throughout this year. Hoping to have all this done by Christmas time, or if not sooner. At least that's the plan. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and comment. And just hope you have a great time running trains. Take care, everybody.